Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey, gang, some people say they eat, breathe, and walk real estate, and then some people actually do that. And today's guest, Jonathan Wolk, is one of those kind of people. He's zooming in from beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. And Jonathan is an architect by trade, so he makes pretty buildings. He's also involved in building. He's got a real estate background as a realtor. He's an active investor himself, so from design to build out to buying, selling, you name it, he's doing it. So Jonathan, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Dave, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So I like the name of your company, Wolk 360, because it's kind of like a complete holistic kind of thing that you guys do. I gave a brief intro, but maybe let's expand a bit on that. What do you guys do exactly?
Yeah, so I'm an architect, which went in this order: architect, a licensed contractor, and a licensed real estate agent. And then we also do investment and property management of our investments, things like that. And the whole idea of the 360 is, as you insinuated, full circle, so that we can take you from the whole process holistically, from when you identify a property, whether that is land or a building to be, renovated or repurposed, or a house that you want to do an addition renovation to. And the whole idea is that it's, 360 service, so that we can take you from the beginning to the end and really help you identify those issues at the very first meeting, right? So when we first go see that property, we can start to identify some of those issues with both a designer's eye and a builder's eye, which could lead us to a great project and could identify some potential pitfalls.
All right. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop is what you guys are endeavoring to offer there. Okay. Very, very cool. So intellectually, I get it, but I'm kind of a visual kind of guy. So maybe you look back in your memory bank, recent memory bank, like what's one of your favorite kind of typical projects? I know everyone's going to be different, but what's an example of a fun project that you've kind of done the magical Wolk 360 process with?
Well, they're all awesome. But
what's your favorite?
Yeah, we
it's like big. Which is your favorite kid? But I'm going to have you pick one.
Yeah. So we had a project where we helped a buyer and a seller. So the seller wanted to sell their home. We were working with a buyer. This was, real estate in Raleigh. We're lucky is still hot. It's maybe not white hot, but it's still hot.
Okay, so this was a single family home.
This was a single family.
When did this happen? This
was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so a seller wasn't on the market yet, but a client of ours that wanted to sell their house. They were looking to relocate out of the area. And we had a client that we'd been showing several houses to. They wanted to be in a particular area. And so we brought those two together. And we wound up doing both sides of the real estate deal. So this was not an investment deal, but it was representing a seller and representing.
Okay, so that's the realtor side of the equation.
Exactly.
Got it.
And at that initial phase, we were able to talk through okay, so a lot of this was about location. They really liked the location, and the house had good bones. And so now how do we change it into what you want? So after we work through the sort of the high level, okay, we can do what you want to do. And we work through the particulars of the transaction, timing, money, all that sort of stuff, and any real estate deal. Then we were able to dive into the design and start coming up and developing concepts for what they wanted to do and how they.
So this was an existing house.
Yep.
They're obviously, well, not obviously, probably a little bit on the older side. So they wanted to do some renovations once they moved
substantial. In. Yeah. So we this house, we added a second floor, we added a garage. And so, but like I said, it had good bones, and it was a location that they really wanted. And that was the problem, was the location we were shopping in was, you know, 6, 8, 10 offers, you know,
Over
well over
asking price.
asking price, you know,
Yeah,
that.
so this was like a pocket listing, so you didn't have that bidding war going on there.
Yeah, well, I'm a realtor, so I can't use that terminology, but
I
it
can't.
was
I'm
it
not, so
was
I can't.
one that we put the buyer and the seller together.
Got it.
And so we worked through some design concepts, and with the design concepts, we then worked through some budget pricing,
Mhm.
and then we completed the construction documents, completed the transaction, and started construction. And the great thing is, what we were able to do is we were able to align the purchase, the financing, and the start of construction. So it wasn't a lot of time sitting there waiting, like a lot of people buy stuff and then it sits for months while we work through the design. That's why we liked it. And we partner with a lot of real estate agents for that purpose, so that we can go and be there before they close on it. So we can try to use some of that time during closing while they're doing all the other closing stuff, but we can also start working on design and some budgeting and identifying some issues.
So the finance you got for this property was kind of a mortgage plus a bit of a construction loan. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do a lot of that with our clients, where it's a two-part. We work with a lot of different lenders that provide that. And then on the investing side, we do that as well. We work with
Well, so
lenders.
sorry, back to the story just to finish, wrap things up. Okay, so you helped them buy the property as is going into closing. You got into the whole design type of thing, a major overhaul.
Yeah.
You got the financing lined up. Then did you guys, after the design, did you line them up with contractors? Do you have
Well, then we're the contractor, we're the builder as well. So then we executed and built it. And in that case, I think it was 9, 10 months later, they moved into their brand new house. And the beauty of it was, they basically got a brand new house, for, let's say, $1 million, in an area where people are doing tear downs and stuff for $2 and $3 million. And so we were able to really take the value of the bones that were there and add tremendous value, for them, and come up with something really beautiful and unique. And that's the beauty of the 360 process, is that all started from day one, identifying that property as a potential.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very cool. So what does your team look like these days, Jonathan? Because that's a lot of work for one guy. So do you have a number of people on the team that are helping with different aspects?
Yeah. So I primarily do the real estate. And then I've got a design team of some great, very talented architects, including myself. And then, we've got, few crews of on the construction side, and some project managers, superintendents that help run the jobs.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
So who these days in 2026, who are your typical clients that they're working with? That example was a mom and pop home owner that wanted to create their dream home. Is that mostly who you're working with, or is it more on the investor side?
It's a real mix. So, we do some work for investors. We are also investors. So we kind of use the same process for ourselves. We'll look at a property. We'll see an opportunity. See what can we do with it. Is it changing it? Is it expanding it? What may be? What condition is it in? Is it an area that's going up? Is it a rental property? Or is it a commercial? But it's a real mix. It's a lot of buyers, husband and wife, small family, or downsizing or upsizing. It's a lot of investors, especially on the commercial side. And kind of completely unrelated, but interestingly, we're doing a couple of church projects. And
Okay.
and again,
Well, some would say that's commercial.
yeah, well, we true, but we sort of, again, it's kind of the same idea. It's what can you do, and that's really where they came from, was what they've got this property. What can we do with it? How can we expand?
Yeah.
How do we? So you look at it a little bit differently, but still, ultimately, the goal is the same.
So you kind of cut your teeth as an architect. Besides the obvious design skills you bring to the table, what does that creativity bring to your projects?
I went to one of my clients invited me to their financing conference, and I was like, well, what am I going to a financing conference for, right? And he said, no, he said, you are so important. He goes, I can crunch numbers, I can look at spreadsheets, I can give you ROI, I can, all these whatever tables, blah, 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 blah. He said, but I can't go and look at a building and say, let's take this old warehouse and turn it into 30 apartments. And he said, that's where I need your creativity. And what is, what's the market doing? What is it demand? Does it make sense to be apartments? Does it make sense for this to be self-storage? I've got this opportunity. He goes, we don't have the creativity. We're creative financing. We're creative number crunching. We're creative in getting people to.
But they don't have that artistic view. That
exactly, and that's and it's a light bulb went off for me, because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, just the way, like, sometimes I need them, right? I need my lenders and investors to work with me on the number crunching and ROI. They need us to come up with the ideas, and that's what.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about commercial. What's one of your favorite commercial projects that you've been involved in?
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. We did the first LEED Platinum hotel and restaurant in North America in Greensboro,
LEED
Carolina.
Platinum. What does that mean?
So LEED is a program where that means and a LEED Platinum is you are the ultimate environmental sustainable building. So we had, solar hot water.
Where was this? Is this Raleigh?
This is in Greensboro, North Carolina, the Proximity Hotel.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was a fantastic project, a lot of fun, and
was that from the ground up build, or was it?
That was, so originally that client was looking to do find an old warehouse and rehab it, but we wound up actually designing the building to look like an old warehouse, and so the way we
turned it into a hotel. Is that what I'm understanding?
And so it's a hotel. Yeah.
How many rooms? Tell me.
146 rooms, I think.
Wow. Okay,
and then a conference center and a really great restaurant. And we restored a stream with it and all that kind of stuff. But, and then, we've done some cool things like coffee shops and some medical office buildings and, we've done a variety of things. But I do love the hospitality side. It's a lot of fun. We've done some conversions of hotels to apartments that are kind of interesting. They're very challenging. Yeah. In fact, again, kind of coming back to our process, we looked at a project in South Carolina where we were looking at a hotel conversion, and I just identified a bunch of problems. And really, I think they were buying the building for about $10 million, and really they needed to be buying it for about $2 million because of everything that was all the upgrades we're going to have to do to convert it to apartments. And they paid us to do the due diligence work, and we met with the town and the fire marshal and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, he was like, he was paying me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, you're paying us for a project that's not going forward. It's always kind of a sad day for all of us, right? We're not going forward. They're having to pay for something that's kind of they're not using. He said, no. He goes, you saved us from making a multi-million-dollar mistake. He said, this is the happiest check I'm writing in this whole transaction, because without you, this would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so, but that, doing your due diligence on these things, especially when you're doing sort of an adaptive reuse or changing, it's a lot. Ground up or greenfield development is, just becoming more and more painful. And so, yeah, the more to all my clients in the real estate transaction, the more time you've got before you close, even though all that money is risk, whether it's due diligence money, the money you pay for us to do that due diligence, research, environmental studies, all that stuff. The money you spend, even though if you don't close, you feel like you're throwing it away, it saves you from the potential of making multi-million-dollar mistakes. And that's really where I got the idea for the 360 was we've got to be there on day one. I've got to be there with the architect eye and the construction eye and the real estate eye to help my clients and also us as investors on day one to help identify these potentials, both on the positive side and the negative side.
So what does a personal portfolio look like these days, Jonathan? What are you personally investing in and holding?
Right now, holding very little. We're some residential rental, but mostly we've been really focusing on the residential kind of fix and flip. Some small multifamily versions of that. But yeah, that's really been our focus. It's just been so hard to make the numbers work. So the other side of it is on the construction side, we're looking at outlying areas, right? Because the downtown is so hot and so expensive.
Yeah.
But your construction costs really don't deviate much. So your purchase price might be less. Your rental rate or sale might be less because of comps, but your construction price stays about the same. That doesn't deviate much from a downtown location to a suburban location, right?
Yeah, 10, 15 miles isn't going to make any difference there.
Exactly. And so that's really hard to juggle when you're talking about maybe a $1.50 in rental rate, or a few $100,000 in sale price. But if your construction costs relatively stay the same, it's hard to make those numbers work. So it's been a struggle lately. I'm pretty conservative on the investment side. So it's hard. These people that buy properties sight unseen, more power to them. But
you're not that guy.
Not me.
No, you're a very hands-on person. So, Jonathan, as we're wrapping this up, who are you looking to connect with these days?
So for us, it's any buyer that's looking to get into the area. We're pretty much North Carolina, but we're happy. We're working on the architecture side. We work on projects outside of North Carolina, but really on the development, real estate, construction side, it's North Carolina. So, an investor that's looking to improve or change something to add value. We're not great at, the fix and flips, just come in and put some lipstick on a pig. That we don't really bring value there. And we run into more problems because we're not going to just cover up the mold. We're going to remediate it, which adds cost. But we also build in contingencies. So, investors that are looking to do something different, buyers that want to get into the area and do a, renovation expansion or a new construction.
Sounds good. So what's the best way for them to connect with you, Jonathan?
The best way is we're on all the socials, and then our website is www.wolk360.com. So wolk360.com, and that'll get you everywhere else in the world that we are.
Fantastic. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for being on the show.
Dave, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviews.com.